Okay, I'm Pyotr Tsarkov from Moscow, Russia. I'm PhD. I'm sociologist, writer, and poet, and participant of International Romani Society now. So, well, today I was going to speak about two problems that we have in Russia, in our Romani world. The first problem, it is a negative image of Romani people on Russian media. And the second problem, that is a education and socialization of Romani kids, of Romani people. So, well, I'm going to start and I'm going to show you the presentation that I made. Wait a minute. Yes, now you can see. Well, can you see this presentation?
Yes, we do.
Yes. Okay. So that is the first slide. You can see, yeah, I made this small investigation of the content of the film, which was made by Boris Sobolev. It was showed for a few times, several times on Russian media, on Russian TV. There is a gypsy or Romani enemy film. And so I made this, as a sociologist, I made a small investigation of the content of this film. So you can see this. The problem is modernity shows that propaganda, its methods of future, especially that is called black or gray, the negative connotation, is still an integral part of the everyday media and informational field. So the problem was how to recognize what is true and what is false. What is a real historical film and what is a propaganda film, which represents the Romani society in negative, very negative color. Well, for recognizing, we need to have a matrix by which to make identification. So I had some hypotheses. The first of all, it is, by my opinion, the Boris Sobolev's film, The Virgin of the Gypsies, or Bremia Tsigan, represents information in a propagandistic manner. In particular, in the case of propaganda text, there is an initial communicative intention to present this text as informational, destroyed consistently by all its structural and semantic logic, which corresponds to all the characteristics of propaganda text, verbal and non-verbal. It's only on objective scientific analysis that can decide where the cultural text of the field, Bremia Tsigan, the Virgin of Gypsies, is informational or propaganda. So, by my opinion, Boris Sobolev's film, Bremia Tsigan, as well as some news feeds of local television companies, present information in a propagandistic manner. In particular, in the case of propaganda text, there is an initial communicative internal to present this text as informational, destroyed consistently by all its structural and semantic logic, which corresponds to all the characteristics of a propaganda text, verbal and non-verbal. So, well, the object of my research, something about methodics. So the object of my research, the object of the research is a phenomenon of telecommunication, which forms of new type of virtually and critiques its own cultural text on the example of materials of television film and the genre of documentary filmmaking. Subject of this research, there is a film of Boris Sobolev. And the goal of this scientific research, it is to use the compilation method created in the course of our research that contains content analysis and informational target analysis. So you can see this the main idea there. So, well, Tasks based on the connect analysis of the concept of propaganda in dictionaries, encyclopedias, and scientific literature highlight the main features of the concept of propaganda, amenable to formalization and observation, which will determine the presence of propaganda in the text. And the second, to make an informational target analysis of TV text as a cultural text in order to determine its real communication orientation, using the example of film of Boris Sobolev, highlighting the structure, semantic, and real communicative orientation as an example of cultural text. So the range of purpose of using negative destructive propaganda includes the escalation of social conflicts, the wiping up of contradiction in society, enable to base instincts, etc. It is also possible to use the enemy image technology, which realized a really effect around a communicator propagandist broadcasting certain beliefs, stereotypes, attitudes, etc., etc. So the propaganda is an intensive, purposeful information activity made at disseminating certain ideas of attitudes in society. So the main, here you can see the main conceptual feature of the definition propaganda. So, well, may I exchange the slide?
Peter, just to let you know, we can't see the presentation yet. Maybe you check the screen sharing once more.
So you cannot see the presentation?
No, sorry.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Good.
You mean lines? The lines, yes.
Thank you. Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's okay. It's okay. Wait a minute. Oops. Okay. So, well, so something now I want to tell about the structure of film that I recognized. The structure of a TV film is quite simple. These are two main elements: videos and comments. Voiceover are the interpreter. The commentator, voiceover, is present throughout the program, defining the control of meaning. We consider the activity of commentator as a dominant, to which all other elements are subordinate. They are directed in the same vein, subordinate to a certain general idea. So you can see this K1, the beginning of the film, first few minutes. The interpreter from the first minutes of a film sets the main idea, the dominant of the entire program, thesis in Russian. According to Tamara Adridze, she was a great Russian sociologist. She created a particular method of analyzing of documents, of analyzing of cultural text. The introduction lasts no more than 10 seconds. For example, the Samara region, pause, takes on of the first place in Russia in terms of the number of drug addicts, pause. Like everywhere also, Afghanistan, Afghan heroin, Central Asian couriers, Russian roof, it means protection because the interpreter using the buzz language. And only retail, permanently convicted people from surrounding caravans. So in Russian, in original, Самарская область, пауза, занимает одно из первых мест в России по числу наркоманов, пауза. Как и повсюду, героин тут афганский, курьеры среднеазиатские, крыша русская и только розница, перманентно судимые выходцы из окрестных таборов. Все это преподносится в очень насмешливой манере. So, K1 sets the semantic tone of the film and briefly presents the entire agenda of a television film that is important from the point of view of the author. So here you can see on this picture, you can see the structure of the film, basic elements of the structure of this film. So you can see K1, RIP, K mid, K1 it is interpreter's introduction, K mid it is the main part of the film based on communicating on short videos, and RIP it is a short videos edited into a single film. Wow. So the self-contained message is a longer, the bundle is short enough, but in general, they can be considered as a single element. The film lasts 1.5 hours. In it came mid fragment about 12 or 15. The most significant and large messages, excluding minor linkage translation, are about 20s. As a representative analytical sample for propaganda in commit, we analyze it 3 of them. So here you can see these definitions, commit internal structure. This is the main support unit of the director's activity as a commentator and interpreter. It is here that the presence of science and techniques of propaganda at the micro level should be considered. Commit together, there are speech of interpreter, his intonation, and video sequence, video text created using compilation consisting of mini plots, mini sujets. Is it correct to say sujets in English?
Plot.
Plot, okay, mini plots. Commented on by the commentator's voice cover or interpret or by his direct appearance in the film. So in summary, you can briefly list of following components, commit. There are speech activity of interpreter, his intonation, dynamic visual background, video sequence. The second structural form of the film is the videos designed as RIP. So there are fundamentally important structure elements of the film for analysis which any data analysis methods will have to deal. Nota bene. A repetition is a technique can be considered at a level. One plot is a purely rhetorical device, both linguistic and extra-linguistic. At the level of one film, for example, 18 or out of 20 plots are devoted to recurring them. So methodology, some words about methodology. Content analysis. At the first stage of research, the method of classical quantitative connect analysis is used. Connect analysis due to the possibility of carrying out procedures to formalize the material under study is qualitative and quantitative method used in the relation of various texts. Content analysis is carried out taking into account a previsually selected topic, thesis, search word, etc., etc. So I made also the analysis of information target activity and extra linguistic analysis of the interpreter information. So here you can see the structure of film, the semantic of film on this picture. So you can see commit and yeah. May I exchange the slide? Valdo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
May I exchange the slide? Okay.
No,
So,
it's fine.
So I find when I made the analysis of the content, I find the analysis here of separate commit elements was carried out in the following directions. The first stage, counting lexical units, negative lexemes, teaming of the fragments, determination of a quantitative of negative ones lexemes per until of a time, a definition of the theses, definition of a main thesis, the second position, the second level, analysis of background extra linguistic elements of the fragment, there is a virtual background accompanying the speaker speech videos, picture video sequence, phrase, highlighting the possible supporting semantic thesis, selection of the thesis from the plot preceding the commit fragment, selection of the thesis from the plot following the commit fragment. And third step, there is a fixation of a possible manipulation technique in a particular logistic error technique. So film thesaurus, here you can see the negative. Yeah, I don't know. I can see some marks on my display.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Who made these marks?
Maybe somebody.
I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah.
A legal spice trader Lydia Stefanova. Young assistants managed to arrive under article 228. Experience Baba Lida. Baba Lida, it's Grandma Lida. Followers of Romanipe. The gypsy quarter were disconnected from the benefits of civilization. It's not so easy for your linguist, you can understand it. It's not so easy for translation because we cannot because the connotation is very specific. So the emphasis, the lexical emphasis is very untypical. The author, the voiceover using the ironia.
What is doing?
And Russian, so in Russian, in original text, it looks like торговка нелегальными спайсами Лидия Сергеевна. Молодые помощницы успели загреметь по 228 статье. Опытная баба Лида. Последователи Романипе. Цыганский квартал отключили от благ цивилизации. Безработные колдуньи. Что не столб, новые подключения, круткие и жучки, самовольные врезки и штуцеры, и так далее, и так далее, и так далее. So you can see that in English and in Russian. Original text and my translation. Well, now you can see the film treasures.
Yeah.
So the main idea, it is a enemy and friend, black and white, foe and friend. So foe, you can see followers of Romani camp, caravans, people, unemployed services, mother heroine, guest performers, nomads, poor people, the citizeners arrive clan, etc., etc. But friend, only two idioms. Непреклонные коммунальщики, местные жители. So the only two. Yeah, it's funny. So the element of K1 shows an entirely taken and interlenting heightened amplified information together with the tense soundtrack interspersed with traditional gypsy music, Romani music, which from the first second creates an atmosphere of tension, as if preparing the view from military reports. The commentator used a lot of informational noun case and AdSense, the commit element. We can distinguish the following extra-linguistic manifestation of the present speech. A wide range of informational intervention, emphasizing the negative coloration of the present speech in a relation to for. Irony, how to say correctly? Ironic tone in relation to for, recorded in consenting and making information. So a frequent manipulative technique used in the film is the commentators regular use the logical error. It's very important. A method when the information provided is in his personal opinion or personal speculation, but is presented as objective. At the same time, it is unjust feed by means of rhetorical tricks. The listener is misled, since the statement is based on a false logical conclusion. For example, everything that was not invented by gypsies, for example, the family code of the Russian Federation is not considered law here and doesn't requiring compliance. Yes, or an old matchmaking ritual. The father lists the virtue of his beloved daughter, such as virginity, a healthy teeth, the ability to get and count money. It's very funny. She finished three classes of elementary school. For each virt, he asked for a gold ducat, or the first wedding night, the gypsy new light set in the children's room of the palace. Absolutely false. That is not true. But so you can see the example of this method. So my conclusions: the total form of the previously identified things of propaganda we found in the investigated cultural text confirmation of all points in conjunction with the result of informational target analysis of Tamara Dridze, revealing the tendential orientation of film Virgin of Gypsies, Bremen Tsigan. We are examining, we can conclude that the content will study corresponding to these characteristics of propaganda cultural text, and its real communicative orientation has clear propaganda outlines included through the found as steadily repeating thesis, which can be briefly formulated. Roma people are drug dealers or offenders. So conclusions, the elements of propaganda. Presence of a central thesis, friend or foe model, memes, stumps, and cliches, manipulation of public opinion, repeatability, and purposeful actually. So we can say that under the guise of documentary by Boris Sobolev created a propaganda, we can say that under the guise of a documentary, Mr. Boris Sobolev created a propaganda film. We can classify propaganda materials as black. The real goal of the author is to incite hostility of Russian citizens towards the Roma. The film was shown several times on the central channels of Russian TV. Unfortunately, not only this film, but I've seen some short plots or movies on local television in Tula region, for example. Yeah, may I shut the presentation? May I shut the presentation? Okay, I'll try to shut it. Okay. Okay, well, so I seen same movies that use same models, unfortunately, and the reputation of Romani people in eyes of different Russian citizens was broken, was exchanged. Well, Vlado or somebody, maybe you have questions?
Yes.
You're welcome.
First of all, well, Peter, thank you very much for a very special lecture on Russian Roma. And because I go regularly to Russia from time to time, now I don't go due to epidemic, at least 3 or 4 months with another mission. I go with the Bibles, which I translated in 1914. And of course, not only with Bibles, but we have to help them when they see us a system, different points: education, housing, health service, and police. And then request to go to the media with a feast. They think if I come from England, I'm powerful, you know, and I'm because the situation is very authentic, what you have just said. And unfortunately, these films are shown in other countries, Ukraine, Belarus, and in Lithuania. So we so the society always is indoctrinated on the point you must be careful, or you shun Roma, shun any contacts with them. This is the unfortunately the current situation with Roma. There is an element also to hope for the future, because regardless of all these things, regardless of the negative presentation on Roma, Russia has got a great intellectual potential of Roma. There are many Roma intellectuals in Russia.
It's true.
Therefore, the future is not so blurred. As you know, in Russia, there was a Romani compulsory education. The
Yes.
first time Roma created the Romani Union, books, everything was so, and it didn't vanish in a time. So I think that there is a future for Roman organization like Roman autonomy, with its branches across the Russia. The situation in my home country, I'm from Belarus, and I was presented here, Vladimir Kalinin. Some presentators wanted me to make a Russian. I'm not from Russia, but I've got a privilege. I studied in Russia, served in the Russian army. I was a paratrooper and qualified as a teacher in Russia before I returned. So one element is here that in Russia, there is a bigger potential for young Roma than in the countries with a very, with a much more negative attitude, official negatives, like in Ukraine, for example, as well in the, although they are not part of Russia, but in the Baltic states, you know, we Belarus Roma, Russian Roma, Lithuanian Roma, Polish Roma, we are all Baltic Roma. We are very similar, but due to the state walls, we started to get disintegrated. We started to feel like we are went different ways. I try in 2015, I with my British and Romani friends and Belarus friends, we founded the Baltic Romani mission. It is based in Slutsk, Belarus, and now we've got points as well in Russia to help Roma to live better life, better on universal values with hope, and to overcome Romani pagan beliefs, and to use the Romani language without any sort of, you know, they sometimes ashamed to use the Romani language in churches. While they turn to each other, they speak Romani. And this is my aim. Please, you want to please your relatives to speak Romani. Why do you have to please God, but why do you please its non-Romani congregation? Yeah. So, therefore, Roma still have good potential future if they rely on education, on God's blessing.
Vlado,
Lobbying, I've been fighting, been involved in Romani politics, and we didn't, many years ago when I was young, more in the jet, we didn't reach anything. So the future of Roma is only through education. That will help for Gaja people to see them in a different way. And when they will be equally valued in the society like any other in the Russian society. There are plenty in Moscow, for example, 500,000 of Armenians, 500,000 of Georgians, million of Azerbaijan people. They are not so looked down like Roma. This is again with the book they can, with education, which starting at a very early stage. But of course, the Roman psychology should make some go through the process of reformation.
I agree with you. Valdemaro, we have some questions from Facebook.
Okay.
I try to read. Hope you will be able to make clear to all the status of status Roma obtained in the Soviet Union at the best time as nation or nationality.
Yeah.
So, well, I know something. Well, in Soviet Union, in the early part of Soviet power, Lenin himself was trying to realize the problem of nationality, because the Russian Empire was not federation. It was how to say unitary state.
Yeah. Empire.
And yes. And Lenin himself arranged different republics which was a part of Soviet Union. Turkestan, which was later separated in few republics, Belarus and Ukraine and Georgia, etc., etc., etc. So, well, every nation, and the problem of nation was very actually also, and Soviets arranged passports, the main document that we still have, and in this picture, Soviet passports, Soviet citizens had the fifth graphs, the nationality, but Soviet citizens could choose this nationality. It was not very strong. Every Soviet citizen at the age of 16, yes, am I right? 14 or 16?
What?
Когда получали паспорт? Yeah.
16 years.
16 years, yeah. Could choose the nationality.
Yeah.
But at the first time, the Romani people, Tsigane, officially was classified as a nation, part of the family of nations of Soviet Union. But every nation or nationality or nation or folk which was living in Soviet Union, which was a part of Soviet Union, had a republic, something like state, the area, the part of land, something like this. For example, Germans, ethnical Germans, had the autonomy, the republic on Volga before before 1941 or 1940, before the deportation. And Jews also had autonomy before the time when Israel was arranged.
Yeah,
and still have. But only Romani people never had something same, unfortunately. But had projects of same states and something para states, something like this, but never had the particular autonomy or republic or something like this. Never, unfortunately. I see the problem in this. But the Soviet Union was the first country in the world which educational programs was started in Romani language, in dialect Rusko-Roma.
Exactly.
And it could be the lingua franca for all Romani people. The Russian Romani theater Roman, Gypsy theater Roman, which still exists, very famous and beautiful. So also the first time was the pièce, the Mysterious was planning in this dialect of Romani Chip. And what else? It was producing and developing very high and very good before the time of Great Terror in middle part of 13. And all these educational programs, learn books on Romani Chip, etc., schools on Romani Chip was collapsed, unfortunately. And by my mind, it was the golden era of Gypsy intellectually, of Romani intellectually, and intellectualism in Soviet Union, maybe in all the world at this time. Since 1920, only 10 years, something like this. Science,
25,
yes, yes.
but
So,
in 38, sorry,
yes.
Peter, for interrupting you, but when the Gypsy school were closed on the 24th of August 1938 by a secret note which went into the local administration, they were closed along other national schools.
Yes.
They closed also Jewish school, Polish schools, Assyrian schools, Uyghur school, all other schools, under the banner to combat nationalism.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And during the time of Great Terror in 1930s, some and Gypsies was traveling during this time. Some wealthy families was arrested as a spies of Hungary or Austria, because they had golden ducats. It was a part of national costume of Calderaria, as you know. And
Yeah.
it was very funny story, because secret police find these golden coins, the stamp of Imperator of Austrian Hungarian Empire, and recognize spies in these people. It was very funny, yeah.
Because because Russian, Ukrainian Roma, and the Luli from Central Asia were only classified as home, our Roma. All the rest were classified as foreign Roma. And unfortunately, foreign Roma, some foreign Roma in these trials, pages times, unfortunately suffered and even were executed alongside other Soviet citizens.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
You know this fact.
Yeah, I know, of course.
But there is a positive thing for the Russian Roma, because, of course, you are aware that still the Russian Romani dialect, which is very close to our Belarus-Lithuanian or Polish and Lithuania, still plays the role in the Franco for other Roma, especially for elderly people. It was like a Russian language only in the Roman. If you don't speak their dialect, the elderly people used all speak. Calderari, Vlachi, Lovaria, all spoke the Northern Russian Romani language, which is Moscow dialect.
Well, they had a question about the autonomous region in Siberia.
Okay. Yeah. In 1935, Stalin, with the help of his one of his functionaries, who was a Rom Tokmakov, Ivan Tokmakov, he perished during the war, invited the famous Romani artist Lala Chornaya to Kremlin and said, I heard, because there were Romani kolkhozes, collective farms who function very well, etc. And this news came to Stalin. Roma shared the feeling of working together and said to him, you know, Romani people, I like that you are entering into the phase of becoming proper builders of communism. what do you need? And she said, Lele Chorna said, you know, we have no land. We have like nowhere. We would like to have our region or anything, if the Soviet government will be to give it to us. And the preparations started, some preparations started to be carried out. And they chose the Western region, which is now Smolensk region, to be with some autonomy for Roma. Because in Smolensk, as you know, there was a Romani, there was a medical college with a Romani education. There was Romani boarding school. There were many Romani activities. There were Besh Romani collective farms, etc. But we don't know who took this decision. And with the light of this time, the communists in Kremlin, big heads, turned from the Western land to Siberia. It's not a better, there is no better place in the Soviet Union than Siberia. And they arranged, they prepared Romanistan, what is now Kemerov region, built there some houses, built there big like dormitory houses and some facilities for working, and started to bring Roma. How? Because they started to arrest Roma who didn't have passports in Moscow and other big cities, and then by trains to deliver them to Stanza Taiga. Of course, it was a collapse. This experiment ended up in failure. Roma started to escape, and this lasted for 5-6 months. But because it was a failure, it was widely somewhere highlighted in the personal, in the archives. The later Bessonov got access, and they said, yes, we've got archives on Romanistan. But when he came for archive, not for archives, they prepared to review him. They said, sorry, we are not, we made a decision not to give it to you. Then there was a parallel on the river Chulym. It's also in Siberia. And I've got recordings of those, even who small children were there. And it always failed. It's all this experiment finished in failure, total failure. So we've got 2 experiments of the Soviet government to resettle or to whatever, to transfer to sedentary way of life. But not all Roma were nomads in the former Soviet Union and the Russian Empire. If you look at the census of the Russian Empire, there were Roma were involved in 12 professions in 1897 census. Did I satisfy the? Sorry.
No, thank you. Yeah, I think that is very good explanation, and I haven't known all these facts that you told about so well. And the next question, and so well, about the situation today. So unfortunately, today we hadn't same projects, and in Russia we have, for example, in Russia we have different sub-ethnical groups of Roma, and the culture is not same. I mean the how to say, the art of life, daily everyday life is not similar. The culture is not similar. So, for example, Calderaria came from Romania in 19th century, and they was traveling for a long time. Ruska Roma earlier came from Poland to Russian Empire, and Ruska Roma never had the experience of slaveryhood.
Yeah. There were
It's
no
very,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, it's very important fact. I'll speak about it later. So more of Ruska Roma now live in cities, but yeah, gentlemen, Vladimir, can you hear me? Yeah, good.
Fortunately, my battery is getting low.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Normal thing. So well, yeah, and Ruska Roma, more of them are live in cities, but Calderaria and Lavaria are live in downtowns, in ghettos. And what I was going to speak a little bit about situation of our days, or about the problems of segregation and about of problems that Romani people have in education. So well, unfortunately, the discrimination in education is certainly related to discrimination in employment. Science, the most common discrimination in based on education already received. A person is not hired because he doesn't have the required qualifications. The main problem of the Roma of Calderaria is that most of them do not have a chance to get higher and sometimes secondary education. Well, with the publication of the settlement law in 1956, many Romani people found themselves in compact settlements near large cities, something like ghettos or reservations. In these villages or in this, they had a cheap land. As a result, people with extremely low incomes live there. In addition to poor territorial conditions, there has been deterioration in sanitary condition due to excessive population density, poverty, and accompanying social phenomena are developing. Roma settlements were areas of close built up poorly developed infrastructure such as water supply, sewerage, roads, schools are far away. There are no buses or other transport. That is a problem that we have today. For example, Plehanovo and Tula region and Kosaya Mountain, Kosaya Gora, etc., etc. There are a lot of same ghettos in downtowns of Russian cities. The second problem, there is a problem of cultural heritage. I spoke about this experience of slaveryhood. So same communities are living in isolation. Maybe you could read, maybe you know about a book of Oscar Lewis, The Children of Sanchez, which was written after his investigations in Mexico. Have you ever heard about this? Children of Sanchez by Oscar Lewis. He was a great American anthropologist. He had a Russian background. So he was working with poor people in Mexico, in downtown Mexico. And he used, how to say, just a moment. Yes. The circle of poverty.
I didn't catch the name. I didn't catch the name.
Yeah. Okay. So Oscar Lewis. So Oscar Lewis.
I don't know.
He dealt with anthropological issues, wrote the subculture, namely poverty, develops mechanism that seek to contemplate.
Yeah, I'm not
Yes.
familiar. So many people who are involved, and I'm not, I'm not
Yeah.
a sort of Russian, subject. So I don't know many things. It's impossible to keep everything what is going on with Roma in huge Russia.
So
Don't know
well,
anything.
the situation is same by my mind. Yeah.
From my experience, when we tried to organize the Roman schools in Belarus, we worked very hard. We came across two difficulties. The first was from the authorities, and second difficulty was from Roma themselves, because they came to they started to come to the head teacher of the school we were going in, asking them how much money we will get. They thought we were going to give him a hand, but they thought it will become rich, and we gave up. Me and Oleg Kozlov, we gave up.
The vertical social mobility is impossible during the time of one generation. People need more time, must understand. Every generation, yes, must have a good education background, step by step. And maybe during 2 or 3 generations, we will have a new generation of good educated people. Good education must protect the community.
Everything is only the hands of education. Yeah. Only through education. There's no other way.
Yes.
Not lobbying, not demonstrations, not any.
Absolutely.
There's the only way.
Absolutely.
To change mentality gradually.
We can look at different same diasporas. For example, first generation of Jewish immigrants which came to USA from Europe in the early part of last century, they had not high education. A lot of them was good sportsmen, boxers, etc. But during a few generations, they arrange the wealthy and good educated class of people. The different lifestyle.
Yeah,
absolutely. Now situation in this diaspora is not same. The most wealthy Jewish people are living in the United States now. So they have the very same situation now, but we must exchange something. Maybe because the how to say the level of education is very low, is very down in communities of Cathars. Maybe we need to produce some centers, consulting centers, for consult these people, because they don't know them how to say laws.
Yeah,
they don't understand. For example, I spoke about this film today. Well, they don't understand that there is falsch. They cannot recognize true and falsch, and something, etc., and that we can make something for protect these people. Maybe consulting, I don't know. I will think about it. I'll try to ask Nadezhda Georgievna Demeter about it.
Any sort of initiative, any sort of project, whatever helps, of course, it's very useful and beneficial. It will lead for some changes, not immediately, the same day, but Roma always expect, a return the same day. Some Roma are impatient people, but Jewish people get through education. Roma should from Jewish people, And you know, in those times of the Romani Renaissance in 1925-38, there were joined Jewish Romani boarding schools. So where Jews and Roma were together. Grishkova between near Veliki Luki and Belarus. And there was another, I forgot the name, somewhere between Russia and Ukraine as well. They got
Yes.
on very well.
The person, I don't forget this.
They were
Yes,
close.
yes, yes.
Had a good relationship. Even my distant relative, unfortunately, he passed away for 2 years to the Jewish Romani Ishkova boarding school. Yeah. So there's no way. It's universal approach education by bits. Somebody they are suspicious that somebody from non-community comes to them and suggests them they sometimes are suspicious. But I said, come on, this man has come to you, this Gajo has come to help you. And this is my problem.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, Valdemar, I know that you were studying Hebrew. אתה מדבר עברית?
Yes, I did a couple of years at West Hampstead Synagogue in London.
אני מדבר עברית קצת.
But
קצת.
I remember words, but and Greek, the Greek I took private lessons from one Englishman.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
You know Greek.
Greek? No,
You
I
should know Greek.
Greek. Evcharisto, parakalo. Just a few words. As a theologist, I was studying Koine, the Bible's language. Yeah.
Did you do all Slavonic language? Did you do all Slavonic?
Yes, of course. We Russian and Slavonic, Churchian Slavic language are very similar. There is very similar with Russian. It's very easy to read in this language. So well, why it's a very actual question. A lot of Roma which living in Russia are Orthodox people, but Protestants also, because a lot of Roma now converted to Protestantism, to Pentecostal variant of Christianity and to Baptist variant of Christianity. But Roma never, yes. So
okay, come on. Sorry.
Yes, but Roma never spoke and never thought about the autokephali church, the observant in Romani language. Why? I don't know.
Well, somewhere in the Moscow region, there was like autokephalic independent Roman church, which was made of Calderari and Vlachi. It's not sort of autokephalic, but it was independent church. I forgot, sorry, old memory. I forgot the name of the pastor. I used to see them. We had some fellowship of some days in Belarus at the Romani conference. It was pure Romani church.
Yeah, it's interesting. I haven't known about this.
No, there are churches, Romani churches in Belarus. There are 1, 2, 3 pure Romani. In the Ukraine, somewhere there is.
Interesting. Yeah, I know about Ukraine, but about Russia, I never heard about it. It's interesting.
Yeah, in Russia there are. In Russia, there was a Romani congregation somewhere. Well, in Tula as well. Yeah,
I was born.
With
Deacon
Bobrov, have you been in touch with him? The Roman deacon, Orthodox deacon Bobrov.
Interesting. Yeah, I never, I know, I'm not in touch with him. I haven't known about him.
Oh.
No.
He had been in touch with me before I replied to him, and then he vanished. I don't know.
Yeah, I was born in Tula. That is the motherland of Leo Tolstoy, a famous Russian writer. So I was born in Tula.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and why a lot of Romani people are live in Tula? Because this district, this area, never was under the German occupation.
Yes, correct.
And during this time, a lot of Romani camps was saved from killing, from mass killing, from Nazis. And Calderaria camps, Calderaria villages are still exist in Tula, a lot of them around of Tula region. These are Plehanovo and Kosaya Gara, as you know. They are relatives. They are keep in touch, not far, one of one. Well, and Calderaria are still using national costumes. Sometimes this tradition abaldinari, as you know, tradition hair design, hairstyle, etc., etc. It's very interesting. Yeah, when I was a kid, I seen a lot of Romani people from Calderaria communities around. But and they use Romani sheep as a home language, as a first language.
Yeah, yeah, Calderaria, yeah. But yeah, this is a good point with Calderaria. Although it is their Romani sheep is very much Romanized. 89% in the language, these are Romanian words, not Romani. But still, they speak more. They are not ashamed of their language, while some other Roma subgroup, even including us, Baltic Roma, you know, our the most closest Roma to us are Sinti Roma. Yeah. Sometimes, if for some reasons they just try to shun, to escape, or hiding their identity, this is sort of.
This Calderaria camps, these Calderaria villages have one primary school.
Oh,
yes, but yeah, the 100 or 90% of pupils are Romani kids.
Oh.
It is the first step of education. And I was trying with Professor Kuchukov to arrange the investigation of Romani kids at the school. It's not so easy because the law is very hard. We cannot simply came to the school.
Okay.
We must have some documents from Ministry of Education, etc., etc. And it was very not so easy, but I don't know, because by my mind, the segregation still exists. And a good idea to verificate my I don't know, ideas about existence of the segregation. So the problem of we have the problem of segregation of education in school, at school, started at the middle school. For example, in local communities, kids from Romani camps are studying together in homogenic, I don't know, in okay, only 100% of Roma, for example, at school. But after the fifth form, they must go to the fifth form.
Yeah.
It's the second step of education.
Yeah.
At ordinary schools, and they cannot be the mainstream. They are only a few percent of main pupils amount of pupils. Okay, so and the segregation is starting there on this step of education. For example, I heard about the experience at Russian at school at the Tula region. The part of school was short on the rapid, on the rapid. It was a part of school with only Roma pupils. It's a absolutely segregated experience. And Romani people, I don't know, there is a broken official law. And we must do something. Maybe they must arrange the commission and something like this for verificate this situation at schools and all steps of education with Roma kids. We must ask them, ask parents, etc., etc., etc. I think that is very, very important.
Have you been in touch with the Russian Romani autonomy, Peter?
Yes, we keep in touch with Nadezhda Georgievna Demetra.
Yeah. There are other people, and not only Nadezhda is too busy, maybe some other people. They are very helpful, and they can help. These are educated people who are stand for education. Because they've got official status, and therefore they can contact the local authorities. To verify, as you say, something which should be needed on spot.
Yeah.
I think this is the only way.
Yes, I thought about it. I seen the state programs of employment for Romani people.
No.
I don't like these programs. I really don't like. Why? Because they see only one way of socialization of Romani people, like the participants only of culture of down class. Only like this, and they never give a chance to Romani kids and to Romani people for making their career, for using the social elevator. Because prestige, not only money is a good thing, but is not enough for life. The prestige of profession is very important. And there are some good professions, by my mind. For example, the painters, the artists in English, the artist, or musician, and some, etc., etc. And you don't need to have the diploma, but you can be a good,
earn money.
Sorry.
You can earn money. You could earn good money.
Yes, it is the first. Yes. And also you can have a good status.
That's it. Correct.
You can be a respectable person. It is very important for image of all Romani people, by my mind.
I don't know whether you are aware, Peter, that now a builder's profession trade is becoming more in need, because unfortunately many Roma work as laborers on construction sites because they have no choice, no jobs, the same. My grandson in Belarus has got education, he has no job. He collects metal. Yeah. So there are, but I try always to explain to them that just to have a basic, you have to master the basic skills of either a good painter or a good bricklayer or a combination of all these things. You must have something on your hands. Romani pay in terms of money has gone. You must be competent, but you're not competent. You can't compete with the non-Romani young people with gadget. Yeah.
Why not? I don't know about it. I must to have a conversation with Nadezhda Georgievna or somebody, and maybe I have an idea to arrange an art school online like this for young generation of Roma, for everybody who
Oh,
want
that's
to.
great idea.
Why not? Why not?
This is great. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Roma
I
like
can,
drawing very much. You know,
it's
yeah.
good. We can make international exhibitions, etc., etc. of Romani art. It's not.
Oh,
It's not difficult.
Bless you. Very nice
Thank you.
perspective.
Nice documenting.
Yeah, we say parikirap. But
Nice.
also we use sometimes nice, yeah. Do you turakires romanes?
Torakires. Yeah.
Turakires. Dava, as you are talking about this online school, good art and etc. Maybe on some profession which I demanded, which Roma very like very much. Yeah, for example, carpenters as well. You know, carpenters or beauticians. Yeah. But the basic now, where Roma mainly now, I know they all go to Russia as laborers. It's mainly construction side, builders.
We have a new participant, Mr. Ahmed Ibrahimi. Yeah.
Привет всем. Я буду общаться на русском, потому что мой английский, он очень такой плохой, будет непонятен.
Тевес Бахтало, отличный
Давай,
русский.
Бахтало, у меня только один вопрос, скажем. Это антицыганская пропаганда везде, она как бы существует, более-менее в целой Европе. Но, к сожалению, немножко в Руси она больше выражена чем-то либо где-то в Европе. Вы что-то говорили нам о фильме «Время цыган».
Да.
Соболева я лично знаю. Он знакомый со мной, дружеские отношения имеет ко мне. Но я никогда не говорил с ним по поводу этого фильма. Не хотел, просто его дело. Пусть человек даст человеку свободу, что он хочет говорить. Только один короткий вопрос вам хочу. Национальная культурная автономия в Руси. Там Надежда Диметр. Она очень мощная женщина. Она каждый месяц имеет совещание с Путиным или с кабинетом с Путина. Она очень как бы может влиять, чтобы в Руси там еще какой-то закон, который бы запрещал антицыганизм в медиах.
Мы попробуем. Я думаю, что...
Можно, пожалуйста, извини меня, Петр, если сможешь отвечать на английском, потому что Вероника и Хамза здесь, они не знают русского.
Good. Mr. Ahmed Ibrahim asked me, I try to translate for people who don't understand Russian language, asked me about our protection of law which can protect Romani people from anti-Gypsyism, anti-Tsiganism in media. So Mr. Ahmed Ibrahim is known about the cultural autonomy of Romani people in Moscow, which leading by Nadezhda Georgievna Demeter. She had a good position, very educated person. And Mr. Ahmed Ibrahimi asked maybe she can make something for arrange this law in Russian government. Well, it depends. It depends. Now it's not depend of me, but hope it will be done. Well. Что касается вот того, что господин Ибрахим, слышите меня? Фарла Ибрахим.
Конечно,
Фарла Ахмед, вот так правильно.
Это 100 права.
Я сделал социологическое исследование этого фильма. Я показал методику, которую вы можете тоже использовать. Почему это, на мой взгляд, важно? Есть исторический пример. Когда-то в Америке в 30-е годы нацистские настроения были очень сильны. Была часть общества в Америке, которая поддерживала Гитлера. И вот эти нацисты в Америке начали издавать газету. Она называлась Pure American, чистый американец. В правительстве заметили эту газету. Это 30-е годы 20 века. Социологи сделали контент-анализ текста и нашли, что это калька с газеты Der Stürmen, которую издает Геббельс. Один в один. Там ненависть к евреям, прочие вещи. И газету закрыли как результат. То есть нужна методика, которая могла бы доказать, что тот или иной медиаисточник, он является пропагандирующим ненависть. Поэтому я показываю открыто, не только чтобы я, но чтобы другие люди видели пример. Я, может быть, постараюсь передать это исследование или как-то открыто сделать, опубликовать его, чтобы этим могли пользоваться другие люди, чтобы защищать свои права и бороться с такого рода ненавистью и проявлением расизма.
Браво, браво.
Конечно, я имел это видео, там усваивается, там залагается, там будет принят такой закон, который запрещает антициганизм в медиа. Довольно, скажем, чтобы цыганская культурная автономия, там совещание вообще российских цыган было, и они как бы приняли решение. Это документальный фильм или эти медиа, там какой-то артикл, я не знаю сейчас, он там имеет антицыганское выражение. Там пунктом, и оно будет принято от Министерства культуры. Сразу будет запрещаться. Это делает такой закон здесь, в Европе. Сделаю у меня на родине тоже. И у меня на родине, я, впрочем, из Косово, из Сербии. Там тоже много антицыганизма. Является иногда медиа, но мы цыгане собираемся, там обозначаем, но это антицыганский артикл. Пожалуйста, запрещайте. Нет вопроса, сразу запрещайте. Чего?
Очень хорошо.
Нет спорного, ничего. Спасибо за все.
Спасибо.
Я
Спасибо. Хвала лепо.
Молим.
Есть вопрос. We have a remark, not a question. We have a remark. Maybe we can come to an end slowly. The panel should be longer with 1.5 hours. I don't remember about I don't remember about the time that we used for this panel. Had the 1.5 hour? No. So well, have we a limit? Have you the time more or no? Вальдемар, мы еще имеем какое-то время? Или, maybe another 5 minutes.
We should ask Вероника. Надо Веронику спросить, может.
Вероника, can you hear me? Can you hear us?
5 минут,
5 минут. Yeah, we have the 5 minutes.
Еще 5 минут у вас.
Mr. Bharla Ahmed, Bharla Valdemar. I'll happy to be in touch with you later. You can find me on Facebook, and we can, from time to time, we can have the communication or online translation.
Well,
it's a good idea.
Of course.
Well,
Ahmed. Пшал Ahmed.
Я, Бачар.
Пшал, а кай tu san, кай бишесту?
Мea cara Giuvdivki Germania, иначе сема амбиандони Косово, но Югославия.
Косово. Сан анто Косово.
Да, Косовако съм.
Алио. Но я за что?
А руски стиклилему преки Москва.
Мы шунава кай tu ракереса рускас.
А да, джанав руски подали.
Ну да. Томаро маршалу Титу, дава.
Бхарла Ахмед, вы супречите русский безупречно, брзо.
Слушай, я прожил 17 лет в Москве.
Oh.
Я был полно интегрирован в общество там. Меня русские очень приняли, как на любящем на родине. Русский народ, оно очень удивленный, очень хороший народ.
Добро дошли в Москву.
Hvala.
Molim. Ljubimo srpski, ovo je jezik mojego srca, no ruski i srpski su slični.
Pa dobro, to je jedan narod. Pričat ćemo, nazovite me posle emisije slobodno na Fejsu ili na Messengeru, kako god želite. Možemo pričati o puno stvarima. Nije
Dobro. Okay, so it's time. We must. The end is soon. We have only a few minutes before the end, and thank you for this conversation, for this panel, and what can I say? Devlesa.
Devlesa, я
Best
вас
wishes.
Thank you for your
Nice.
presentation.
Thank you very much.
Let's be in touch. Nice. Вальдемар, вы есть у Грата на Фейсбуке?
Что?
Вы есть на Фейсбуке у Гратана, у Карла
Да,
Гратана?
конечно.
Я вас найду тогда и добавлюсь на
Так и
Фейсбуке.
я же тебе написал. I have
я-
written.
Unfortunately, I haven't seen, but I'll try
I'll
to.
write you again. I was asking about the structure of our today's presentation. But anyway, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Bye.
Devlesa.
Devlesa. Sastepe Bach
Te Janel devel to menge Bach peskiri izor petumenti.
Nice.
Devlesa.
Bye. Devlesa.
Masa.
Thank